Hey friends, Jake here, and you're watching another Pledge or Pass with Board Down Under. Today we're having a look at Epic Spell Wars of the Battle Wizards, Annihilageddon number 2, Epic Extreme Legend Nachos, Fries, and Deliciousness. Now, a quick content warning, this game is not going to be for everyone. The imagery here is pretty vulgar. If you're easily offended by blood, guts, genitals, and things, this probably isn't for you. Yeah, stop here. Now, format of this video, I'm going to run through the original game on Tabletopia, just a very quick overview of how it plays. That's because number 1 and number 2 are going to play very, very similar, I believe. I'll give my thoughts over what I think number 1 sort of plays like, and then I'm going to give my thoughts on what I think the actual Kickstarter provides. And then I'll let you know whether I'm going to pledge or pass on this particular one. So let's jump in and have a look at how it plays. Alright, so let's talk about the game real quick and find out how it plays. When we come in, we're going to pick a wizard. Each wizard has a familiar that goes along with them, but you can sort of pick and choose. Each familiar you get to unlock by buying them down the line, and they're going to provide some sort of cool ability as a card in your deck. You also get to pick from one of 2 abilities that get dealt to you, and these are wizard abilities that just give you a cool power that lasts throughout the whole game. Up here we've got the market. You're going to be purchasing these cards. Each one has a cost down in the bottom, but when you purchase it, they get brought down, put into your discard pile, and then as your discard pile gets shuffled into your deck, you end up being able to play these cards, doing more powerful things, all that sort of good stuff. In terms of how that works, if you're not familiar with deck builders, basically each card can have sort of 3 things attached to it. It can either be plus power, which power is what you need to be able to purchase other cards, so this gives you 2 additional kind of currency to be able to purchase other cards. And then they're going to be split into, generally speaking, either attack cards or shield cards. Attack cards obviously attack your opponent and usually do something cool or might just deal damage. And then there are shield cards which let you avoid incoming attacks pretty much completely and usually do something cool in return. So those are the 2 sort of types of cards, and you're just gradually going to build up cooler and cooler decks. Now, when we buy a card from the market, we draw up a card. If we draw up one of these fancy little mayhem cards, it's an event that kind of affects everybody, and that's cool. It provides chaos. Once the mayhem card resolves, you throw it away and you draw up an actual card, and away you go. This is kind of the static market, I would say. These are limp wands, which are bad sort of debuff cards, I guess, that you can apply into your opponent's decks. And these are wild magic cards. These are very cool. So whenever you play a wild magic, you can either use it to get power and buy better cards, or you can actually take the top card of your opponent's deck and see what's going to happen. Play it if you want, sort of thing. So that's pretty wild. And then this particular deck here, this is one of the win conditions. So these all cost a lot of money, and when you buy them, they get added into your deck just like anything else. They've usually got a really powerful, cool ability. However, when you've removed one, the next one will generally have this group attack that happens, and this group attack resolves the following turn and will kind of hit everybody. So each time you buy one of these, there's going to be something impactful that happens the following turn, generally speaking, which is very cool. Adds more randomness to the game. Another way of potentially sort of, well, another way of the game ending. So you win if you've got the most victory points, and there's a whole bunch of different things to consider there. Each card can have victory points on it. Down here we've got victory points. But the game ends one of 3 ways. Either we run out of the legendary cards here, or we run out of the market deck, or there is, I think it's 4 wizard tokens, so dead wizard tokens per player. So when you die in this game, you grab a dead wizard token and you give it to yourself. Now I think, yeah, there's 4 per player, so in a 2-player game you're going to have a maximum of 8. Once those 8 have been drawn, the game ends, you count up victory points. For each one of these dead wizard tokens you have, you get negative points, but also when you flip them over, there is some random thing that happens. And as you can see here, they're not necessarily bad. Most of them are bad, but some of them are good. Like this, you get to draw a bonus card to use that turn. And that really is the game in a nutshell. There's some other little bits and pieces that you'll learn as you play it, but it's just kind of a deck builder with chaos happening and you're slinging spells at opponents, and it's just good fun. Let's see what I thought of it. So, what do I like about this game? I really like the artwork. I think that the artwork can be a little over the top at times, but I think that the bright colours and vibrant nature of it really helps tone it down, and the two just synergize so well together. I think that it's not a beautiful game, but it's very much an aesthetic game, if that makes sense. I also like how different from the norm this game feels. Not mechanically speaking, but in terms of its theme. I don't have anything else like this in my collection, and that's nice. It's nice to have a variety of different things that I can kind of pull from. I like how chaotic this game is. So yes, you're grabbing cards and you're building this, strange wild deck where there's so much going on, but there's mayhem cards that throw wild stuff at you. There's the wild magic cards themselves, which throw your own stuff back at you, and all sorts of crazy stuff there. There's the actual legend, like the legend stack. When you buy one of those legendary cards, there's a group attack that might happen after the fact, and that's crazy. There's the dead wizard tokens as well. Like, there's just so much randomness going on here that you just never know what to expect. It keeps you on your toes from pretty much start to finish. I like that there are asymmetric powers that you kind of build up at the start. You pick your character, and they do have a familiar, but you can mix and match. There's nothing stopping you from putting a different familiar with a particular wizard. And then on top of that, you get to pick from, 2 wizard abilities, and those wizard abilities are quite fun. They're powerful, and they also can help shape what it is that your deck is going to be. So it can provide some guidance there, especially to people that might be new to the deck building genre. If something, if your wizard ability says draw a card whenever you play a treasure or something, you're going to want to buy treasure cards. So I think that's really quite a nice thing to have as well. And above all, this game is so over the top in everything it does, in its colour, in the actual illustrations, in how much randomness there is. From start to finish, this game is over the top, but it's also over the top with fun. I really, really think it's enjoyable, it's wild. So what don't I like about the game? The game certainly isn't without its flaws. For one, this game is clearly not for everyone. You are going to have some gaming groups where you simply just cannot pull this out. The illustrations themselves are enough to put potentially a lot of people off. I also don't think that this game offers a lot of strategy. You can get deeper into it. There are, do you want to buy a card at this particular point? Does it synergize well with your deck? What's going on here? But for the most part, it's you spend as much power as you've got to buy the most powerful card and rinse and repeat. Play a bunch of wild things, have a ball, have a blast, random stuff happening everywhere, but I don't think it's a particularly strategic game. I also don't think that this game is fair. If you're looking for a game that's going to treat you well, this probably is not it. There is so much random stuff happening. You're being attacked left, right, and center. The game hates you. Your opponents hate you. Everybody hates you, but in a fun way. Everyone's in that same boat, and I think it's just an enjoyable ride, really. I'm not a big fan of take-that games, but this game is so over the top in this aspect that it doesn't actually feel all that bad. However, no, it's not a fair game. And lastly, there's a point where your decks can get so full of junk that your turns can feel uneventful and actually unfun. If your opponents are limping your wand turn after turn and you're at the point where you're only drawing 2 or 3 actual relevant cards, that can be pretty miserable. So at that point, maybe you want to wrap the game up and start again, except that someone's a winner. Who knows? Maybe you enjoy that sort of thing. Who am I to judge? Alright, so what do I think are the key points that this new Kickstarter is bringing to the game, and what are the areas that I'm looking forward to the most? So first and foremost is variety, right? This game is compatible with number one, so we've been told. I don't exactly know what that means, whether it's just you mash it all together and away you go, and it's just a joyous sort of joyous time. But it's going to bring in new wizards, new familiars, more wizard powers, in general, just more cards, which is great. It brings in this new legendary lineup market, which, from what I can understand, is basically more shenanigans towards the late game, which is fantastic, right? And on top of that, it's got fluoro chips and foil cards, and who doesn't love those things? Okay, so what are my reservations about this particular Kickstarter? There's two kind of points. One, I have reservations about the expansion. Two, I have reservations about compatibility, and they kind of cross over. So, it's been said that number one and number two are compatible, but I'm not sure what that means. Does it mean I can throw those market cards together and have one giant market? Because if so, what happens to the potential to get combos like the two Dragon Balls, or we've now got these awesome Nacho power chips, which if we dilute the market pool, possibly we're not getting enough cards to utilize those. I'm not really sure, so I'm a little worried about that. And then in contrast with that, there's this expansion, which looks like it could be really fun. It looks like maybe it might be too long, which does worry me a bit. But it looks like it could be quite fun. Additionally, though, they tout this as being built for Annihilageddon 1 and compatible with Annihilageddon 2, and that's concerning given that they're being sold alongside each other. You would think that an expansion being released should really be released along with the option to get the thing that it's actually compatible for, and at the moment the Kickstarter doesn't have the option to get number one alongside it. And so that's a bit weird. So you've got Annihilageddon 1, Annihilageddon 2, and then this expansion. And I'm not really sure how compatible all these things are together. Can you bundle them all up and play them all as one thing? Not sure. I kind of want that to be the case because I think that would be awesome, but at the same time, yeah, I've got a little bit of concern around that. Those are my main concerns, honestly. Okay, so am I pledging or passing? You may have guessed, but I'm going to be pledging this game, and I'm kind of going all in a sense that I'm also going to be picking up the original from a retailer near me. I'm really, really keen on this game. I've enjoyed what I've played so far, and I think that I'm just going to enjoy this more and more with more variety that's coming out. Those reservations are there, but I think even if I'm just playing the original with the expansion, I'm going to have fun. If I'm just playing number two as a standalone game, I think that's also enough variety, and I'm going to have fun with that. So this game has ticked a lot of the boxes for me, and yeah, I'm basically diving all in. I would like them to provide an option to get number one within this Kickstarter, but so be it. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this video has helped inform you of whether or not you would like to back this or let it go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and hopefully I'll see you again. Bye.